So changing recurring decimals into fractions is a little harder than changing regular decimals into fractions. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say that x is equal to 0.8 recurring, and I'm going to write out a few decimal places just to illustrate the point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to times it by 10, but the number of zeros is going to be equal to the number of recurring decimal places. So for example, here we have one digit that's recurring, right? The 8. So I'm going to times it by 10. If there were two digits that were recurring, then I'll times it by 100. If there's 3 digits, I'm going to times it by 1,000, 4 digits, and so on, times it by 10,000. Okay? So you times it by 10 followed by the number of zeros equal to the number of digits. So for a 1-digit number, because it's just 8 recurring, we're going to times it by 10. So that gives me 10x equals 8.8888 recurring. Now, if I put these on top of each other quickly, so I'm going to leave the 10x here, I'm going to move the x over here. You might notice that after the decimal point, these 8s are all the same, they match up, which is the whole point of doing this. So we're going to subtract the two now. That means 10x minus x gives me 9x, and if you notice, we're going to have 8 minus 8, 8 minus 8, 8 minus 8 going on forever. So that's just 0, so we've gotten rid of the recurring decimal now. And we have 8 minus 0, which is 8, which means x is equal to 8 over 9. And if you put that in your calculator, you will see that if you put 8 over 9 into your calculator, you get 0.8 recurring. So let's try again. Once again, using this rule from up here, in fact I'll drag this down as we go through the examples. If I write this whole thing out, we have 0.47777. So how many digits are repeating? Well, it's only one digit that's repeating, so I'm going to times it by 10. So we have x is equal to 0.477 going on forever, times it by 10, we get 4.7777. And once again, we're going to write them on top of each other, so I normally just write the x out one more time. And one other thing that I will say, that I'll give you some advice on, is try and make it so the decimal points are like lined up, so the place values are all lined up properly. It makes it easier to see. Now once again, these 7s technically go on forever, but if you notice, there's a 7 on top of a 7 everywhere. So when I subtract these two, the 7s will all cancel out. So if I subtract them, we get 9x equals 4 minus 0 is 4, 7 minus 4 is 3, and then everything else is a 0 because it's 7 minus 7, 7 minus 7, 7 minus 7 going on forever. So now we're going to divide both sides by 9. And there's only one more thing that we have to do. Actually, let me write that one more time. There's only one more thing that we have to do. We never have decimals in fractions. So how do I get rid of the decimal here? All I do is I times by 10, top and bottom. So 43 over 90, which is your final answer, and you don't even need to simplify it because with this method, it's always in its most simplest form. So again, in terms of the method, you write x equals the number. You times it by, depending on how many digits are repeating, you times it by 10, 100, 1,000 or whatever. You subtract them, divide over, and then make sure it's a whole number on the top and bottom. Let's try it now with more than one digit repeating, just so I can illustrate my point. So here we have 0.681 all recurring. So if I were to write this out, I would get 0.6818181. And now because there's two digits repeating, the 8 and the 1, I'm going to times it by 100. So that gives me 100x equals, that would be 68.18181881. Because again, all I'd have to do is move the decimal point twice, right? And I get 68.181818. Now again, if I write these on top of each other, I will get the digits repeating each other. 6, 8, 1, 8, 1. Again, eventually you want to have both of the digits in each of these place values being the exact same number. So 8, 1, 8, 1. That's, so you can ensure that when you subtract, it actually gets rid of the recurring part of the decimal. So that gives me 99x when I subtract. Then of course when you're doing the subtraction here, you're going to have to borrow a 1 from over here. That gives me 11 minus 6, which is 5. And then 7 minus 0 is 7, and 6. So we get 67.5. Next step, divide both sides by 99. You want to move the 99 over. And then all you need to do is ask yourself, are they both whole numbers on the top and bottom? The answer is no, because we have a 67.5. So now we're going to times the top and bottom by 10 to get rid of the decimal. So our final answer is 675 over 990. Simplify it if you want, but that should be it for that. And one last style of question, because it depends on how they write it, is this. Now here, the common mistake I see is that a lot of students think that this is just 2 digits repeating, the 2 and the 6. But remember, when we don't normally write things like this. We don't write it with 3 dots in the middle because it just looks a bit weird. So instead we do the starting and finishing a recurring number. So if I were to write this out, it actually looks like this. So 0.216216. It's actually 3 digits that are repeating, not 2. And in general, the dots will always be next to each other for the ones that are recurring. So if there's a gap, it means that the middle one is also recurring as well. So there's 3 digits repeating. So we're going to times it by 1000. 1, 2, 3, x, which means we're basically moving the decimal point 3 times. So we get 216.216. Once again, we can just write that x again underneath and subtract both of those lines to get 999x equal to 216, right? Because those decimal points will always line up. Divide both sides by 999 and we get the final answer over there. So again, hopefully that was more useful. Just remember that rule and it should be fairly self-explanatory from there.